picture, the roller sleeve has a gap on the frame. What happens? The paint gets in between there and it will fill up inside the sleeve and it's going to drip everywhere. Now in this picture here, you can see I put tape around it. The tape seals it, but you're better off make sure you buy one that matches first. This is the roller tray that you put the paint. Now what I do is I put in a tray liner. But the liner, when you put the paint in and you finish your work, just throw it away. You don't have to wash the pan. So much easier. And they're cheap. They're not expensive at all. Now, you want to make sure you have a bucket of water handy. I'll explain at the end of the video why you need that. Now, you see I only filled the deep end of the tray. Now, just up from the deep end, there's some ridges. That's what you want to use to roll the heavy paint off the roller. Now, when you first start, you got to soak the paint into the roller. So it's a little time consuming on that to start because you have to get the paint all the way in the roller. Then roll it out. Now you can see the ridges showing up when the paint's on it. Now you want to get that nice and rolled in so you have enough paint on the roller. Uh, Now we're going to show you how to roll. Watch the method that I use. This is what you want to duplicate. I don't start at the wall and I don't go all the way to the top. And I roll about halfway down the wall. This is an 8-foot ceiling. So you just roll down. Now the wire end, I'm going to be painting to the right. The wire end will face to the right. Now the only time I change is when I get to the other end. I'll switch it so I can get closer to the wall, but then I always go back because the end without the wire has a lighter pressure on it. So it feathers the paint in better, give you a better finish. That's why I like to do it that way. Now I'm going to do at least 4 passes coming down the wall from the top. I don't do any more than 4 before I go and finish the bottom, and I do exactly the same thing on the bottom. The reason for that is you want to roll it on the bottom and the top while the paint's wet so everything blends in. Now you see here the wire will hit the wall, so what I do is I will turn it here, and that way I can get real close to the wall, but I do turn it back again so that I can get a better finish on it. I just do this to get close to the wall, and then I'll switch it back over again. And you want to remember that. You could do this on all the walls that you're going to do. It's basically the same thing. You can paint inside, outside, doesn't matter. As long as you got the right roller sleeve, this is how you do it. And you can see the gap at the top that I'm leaving. That when you paint that in, that's called cutting. So when I say cutting, that's what that's going to be. I will not be showing the top when I cut it in because I have put a ladder in there. This is the bathroom. When the ladder's in there, the camera's not going to get it. I will show you when I cut in the bottom, but when I've cut that bottom in, I've already going to be cut the top and the sides, just so you know. I do do the whole thing. Now, when you do this, this paint's going to blend in really nice. And you don't want to go all the way from the top to the bottom. When you do that, you're taking too much paint off the roller, and it's going to be a thin coat, and you're going to end up having to paint twice. This way it covers everything nicely, and if you dip the roller right, it'll work out just the right amount of paint to do it the way I'm showing you. And now you want to use a good paint. Cheap paints, when you cut them in, they won't blend in. I'll show you later on in the video here how the paint looks like it's not drying in while it's wet. But as it dries, I'll show you a little short clip that will show you that it's perfect. I'm also going to show you how you clean up any spills that you make. So just bear with me. I tried to keep this video as short as I could for you, but it was a little difficult to get everything that I wanted in there. But you see how I did the top, and then I'm doing the bottom. Now you notice when I started one roller length away from the wall. You want to make sure you always do that. If you start right next to it, you can have runs coming down on the side of the wall because the paint's can be too heavy. That's why you always start even a little gap and work back into it. Now I'm just going to cut this bottom baseboard. I've already done the top and I've already done the sides. The paint I'm using is a semi-gloss paint. If it's your own home, if you're not renting, if you're renting, you can use the cheap builder's paint, which is a flat finish. They don't clean well and they mark easily. This one's semi-gloss. You can wipe marks off of it normally with just a damp rag. Very, very easy. Now, you notice I'll go back after I've cut in the bottom, and then I'm taking the brush and going back, but then I'll feather it in a little bit. That way it blends it in better. Right now I'm only doing this one side on the wall just so I can do this video for you. I'll come back later on and finish the rest of it. But it's already long, a little bit longer than what I wanted, but that's what it takes to show you what I need to show you. As you can see, it don't take long at all to do that side of the wall. You can do a 12 by 12 room in a heartbeat. As long as you've got everything out of your way, you can get moving. Now you notice I'm putting paint right on the floor. Kind of crazy, huh? But what I'm doing is I'm showing you if you spill paint, how you can get it up so easy. That's why you have the bucket of water. You should never paint without having a bucket of water. Squeeze the rag out and it'll wipe right up. As long as you get it when it's wet. You don't want to let it dry because then it's going to be a little difficult. But when it's wet, it'll come right up. Even if you get it on carpet, you can blot it up with a napkin as much as you can, as long as you didn't spill too much of it. And then just use a damp rag and you can normally get it out. Now you can see this. That's where I cut the wall in. You can see it's still showing up. And now you can see when it's completely dry, there's no mark. It's dried in completely. That's what you get when you use a good paint. With a cheap paint, it's just not going to work for you. It's going to leave marks just like when it was wet. It'll stay like that. So I hope this has been some help to you. You have a terrific day. Thank you.